You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, and know when to run. Song called The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. Unfortunately, there's been too many times when I haven't known when it was time to go. Starting back when I used to go out to the clubs and stuff a lot, I'd always want to hang around, try to get that last number, or try to, just see what was going on, But I was younger then, and so when you're younger, sometimes that's what you do. You hang around, you stick around just a bit too long, and then sometimes, unfortunately, people might start shooting, or saying that somebody got a gun, and everybody starts running. Or, for my friends that have been to the Greek picnic back in the day, you understand sometimes it's just mass people running for no reason, right? So, once again, me not knowing when to go. So then as I got older, you get a job, you get a decent job or whatever, maybe not necessarily a career job, but a good job. And so you get this good job and you think that you're making good money, or you think you're making okay money, and you're there and you're working, and of course, because you're you, and now you've gotten past year 1, past year 2, 3, 4, so on and so on, you think that you are somebody kind of special. You think that you're somebody that, knows what they're doing. Oh, I could do this job in my sleep. Where you start doing stuff and then your supervisor just kind of overlooks stuff. Oh, yeah, well, I know you called out twice this weekend, but, you got somebody to fill it. So, hey, no, look, no big deal, because, you think you're the man or the woman. And you work, and then at a point, you start to see certain things. You look around, you see other people, because initially, how does a lot of jobs start? When you're there for a long period of time, you're one of the younger ones. So you look up, the next thing you know, you're one of the older ones. But maybe you're not the oldest one, but maybe in the middle. But then you see other people come, you've been there now for 5 years. After 2 years or 3 years, they're on to a better position, a different position, or they just leave. And the next thing you know, hey, we're having a party down in the lounge for such and such because they went and took a position somewhere else. And so you start to think and you say, wow, why isn't that me? Why haven't I said, let me go and take this leap of faith. Let me go and try to do something else. But, you're still thinking to yourself, nah, I don't need to go anywhere. Why should I go anywhere? Life's good. Rent paid, bills paid, car note paid, still having fun. We're still rolling around. We're doing us. And then you get other red flags. Now, sometimes when your supervisor would overlook stuff, now he or she is giving you the side eye, or people are starting to, you think people that you were cool with may be starting to look at you funny, or you heard that what's the name in them said that he be leaving early, or he be clocking out early but staying late and he wasn't authorized to stay. But you still think to yourself, hey, look, I'm special. Remember, I'm special. But you still overlook it because you're special. Next thing, we're coming, going to work, feeling good. We've only been late 6 times this month. And it's only about maybe a few minutes. But remember, I still stay late. I still do an exceptional job when I'm here. Then the supervisor pulls you over. Hey, you need to watch your time. You've been coming in a little bit late. You've been, kind of just, I don't want to, because you're a great employee, you're a great worker. So just work on it. Then, in the case that would happen to me, something happens. And the issue with what happened to me was that there was already an ongoing issue with this particular patient from before. And Believe me, I don't ever think that I did anything totally wrong. Could we have all done stuff better? Yes. But, And so then it all starts to hit me at that point. All of the times that I looked around and I saw the other people who were younger than me, saw the people who were my age, looked around, started thinking back to the side eye I was getting from the supervisor. And because my own sense of feeling special made me oblivious to what was actually about to take place. And it was a weird thing. I don't know if, because this is the first time I've ever been fired, but if you've ever been fired before or laid off or anything, sometimes you get this feeling like, I know that this is it. And oddly enough, I had that feeling where I said, this is it. And of course, I tried to fight the termination, and of course it didn't go well, and I didn't think it was going to go well. And then just like that, boom, I had to wonder, how was I going to pay for bills? Because you know how it is when you got kids, right? Money is like a running faucet all the time. Or when you're trying to get stuff done. It's like money is always coming out, always coming out. But you don't worry because you have a job or you have a career. So money is always coming in. So it's never really that big of a deal. You just need to find out ways to make maybe a little more money. Maybe it's taking on something else. Maybe if it's a hourly job, doing some more hours. But now all of that is gone. And then I sat around, and instead of me knowing where to go, somebody else made me go. Do you know how bad that feels as a man, especially as a 40-something-year-old man, when you've done good, you've done good, you've tried to be a good person, you've tried to do the right thing, and because somebody deems something that you've done as wrong, then you're done. Your hands are in the fate of someone else. And just like that, you're done. So it took a lot of processing because, as a person, as a man, you don't have much time to sit back and contemplate on what happened, because what's done is done. Now it's time to try to move on to whatever else you need to do to be able to make money to sustain a lifestyle. But when you don't know when to go, sometimes, many times, someone else is going to make the decision for you. That's professionally. Personally, there have been way too many times when I've gotten too many red flags as to it's time to go. If you ever find yourself in a situation where, you start calling your mate out of their names, I mean, like really, really bad names, evil names that, of course, we won't talk about here, but you get what I'm saying. Where you feel like you pull up to the house, or you pull up and you say to yourself, their car's here, they're already here. I just want to keep going. When you sit down with a person and you try to balance a budget, or even come up with a budget, because, we want to have a calculation of how money goes and how we're dealing with household issues, and the other. And then the person continues to act oblivious to what it is you want to do, or what you're trying to do, or what in your mind you perceive to be the right thing or things to do. So you sit and you say to yourself, and in a lot of cases, because I've told other people this before, friends of mine that have been in relationships or whatever, you'll know when enough's enough. But it's weird where we get in these situations and enough's enough probably had been a long time ago. But because especially if you're a quote unquote loyal person, or if you're a person that doesn't want to fail or likes to stick things through, you want to try to stick things through and do the right thing. And trust me and believe me, there are a lot of people out there who, especially in romantic situations, stick it through and do the right thing. Even at junctures where they probably felt like, hey, you know what? I don't know where this is going to work. I don't know where this is going to go. But there are definitely times when you know that it's time to go. But you say, nah, you know what? Maybe next time. Maybe, she didn't really mean that. Yeah, she came home a little late. I don't think she was with a guy, even though I didn't see anybody pull up and she came walking from around the corner. But you know what? At 12 o'clock at night. But hey, maybe she just felt like walking. Or, I can't see myself being without them because we've built this great situation. But somewhere in your mind, these red flags keep popping up saying, should I stay or should I go? Now, and to be in all fairness and honesty, unfortunately, a lot of times, whether it's personally or professionally, our finances dictate that stuff. So if you've moved in with your partner, male, female, whatever, and you've decided, hey, look, I'm throwing it all in. We're trying. We're going to do this. And then it doesn't work out. Well, a lot of us don't want to go back home to our parents. Some of us don't even have that type of situation to be able to go home to. So what do we have to do? In a lot of cases, we got to grin and bear it. We got to eat it because we can't go. A lot of us with our jobs, even some of us with careers, you stick around too long. You're there. Like I said, everything is based on your paycheck, even if you're saving money, even if you have money in a 401k. Everything is based off and balanced off of what you are bringing in bi-weekly. So what happens is that even though I might know it's time to go, I'm not in a position to make myself leave. And when you don't put yourself in a position to make yourself leave, i.e., been in situations like this personally and professionally, you suffer the consequences. You suffer. Yeah, and I know that money and love and all of this kind of stuff is typically tied in together. But the one beauty about getting older is that you start to see things pretty clearly. And you see that one can and should be able to exist without the other. Because remember, as we always talk, love is just a deep feeling or emotion for someone. And we all know what money is. So, do you know when it's time to go? Have you stayed somewhere too long? Are you the person that's at the party and you wind up getting too drunk, and when you could have left an hour ago and maintained some respectability for yourself? Or are you the sloppy drunk that just stays around? Well, I've been both. Maybe not sloppy drunk, but still, you get what I'm saying. But ultimately, know when to go. Know when time's up. And if you don't know, ask somebody that you respect and say, hey, is it time to go? Do you think that I've stayed in this situation too long, personally or professionally? Because a lot of times we already know the answers, right? But hey, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this with somebody. And send me a comment and say how you feel. Have you ever stayed around a little too long? I know I have. But until then, live life. Don't let life live you.